Hello, everybody. Welcome to another MTAL. This is going to be another life update. My name is Mason. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, hi. If you're old here, it's been a minute, and I think now we're in a good spot to give you another update. Last time I talked to you, it was right after Charlie Kirk's assassination. I gave you a little bit of a rundown as to where we are, but if you don't know, we were in the middle of moving, and unfortunately, the house we were going to move into fell through, and so we were in between houses. Um, and right before we got into the new house, we found another house, this one, and right before we could get into it, the government shut down. So our loan was held up for the longest period of time in government history. So for about the last 4 to 6 months, we've been really, really struggling. I got my old job back, working at the gas station. Erin was still working overnights, and yeah, it was a tough time. Not gonna lie. And we're still only just now getting out of that survival mode. So yeah. But anyway, we're here now. We're in a new place. We're in a new house. We love it. It's a fixer-upper. There's a lot of work to do. But it's ours. We bought it. It's ours. So I don't have to worry about a landlord coming and trying to throw their fucking weight around or demand unreasonable shit from me. I don't have to worry about, you know, people thinking they, I don't know, deserve to walk through the house and tell us how to live. None of that is tolerated anymore. Um, and it feels great that it's ours. And not just that, but having a house gives us so much more to work with, like getting a new car or getting business loans or even just getting the house fixed, um, buying another house in the future, or there's just we really needed the win, and we finally got one, and we worked our asses off for it. So hallelujah, we're here. So what does that mean for the channel? Well, it means good things. We're one step closer to making videos more frequently, to get back to gaming, to get back to streaming, to do all that. But I feel like we still have a little bit of a ways to go yet before we can really commit to it. I think it would be smart for me and Erin to focus on just making money and stabilizing and getting a routine. That means I need to be getting another job, because the one I'm at is not working. Um, she's moving down to days, so she wants to see how that goes, but she's not too happy with where she's at either. Um, she got eyes out for another job, but she's got to wait for an opening. Um, I've got eyes out for several jobs, but most of them don't open up until February. So that's why I'm able to make this video, is because I'm kind of in limbo until I can get into those other jobs. So I want to do some CDL driving for the state, but in order to get my foot in the door there, I got to do some temp work for them first. So I'm going to be a gopher, is what they call it. So if they need something, they send me. I'm the guy who brings them the hammers and nails. That's my job. So um, hopefully we can get one of those landed. I've also applied at a game store. So there's a hobby store in town here, and if you guys know me, I've always wanted to run a game store of my own. And so working at one might be a good insight into, well, what goes into it. Sorry, I got this one beard hair over here that decides he didn't want to be a part of the rest of the crowd. So, but we're happy. We're just now depressurizing from all the stress. And like there's every now and then there's like something that'll pop up where we're like, we don't have to worry about that anymore. Oh my goodness. We've been so stressed and so concerned, and like just that survival routine, we can let go of it. So yeah, we're happy. We're getting D&D going again. The 27th of January is going to be our first game. So if you're part of the crew, look forward to it. I some side notes on other life stuff. I've been really developing my own TTRPG, and maybe at some point I'll release a public Google Doc for you guys to check out and see and play test and see if you guys have any, you know, recommendations on how to kind of fine tune things or whatever. So yeah, I mean, I want to take a moment to talk to you guys about the future of the channel and my hopes and aspirations, being the new year. Um, I don't, like I said, I don't know if we are ready, or I don't know if it would be responsible for us to try and do a consistent stream to make content consistently right now. That's probably something that's going to happen maybe around April, is my goal to really have that going. But we'll see. I might set up my computer for streaming, see if I can't put a couple gaming videos out for you guys. And if you guys really, really, really show some support, and I will have stream goals. My stream goal is going to be like $250 a week, which is impossible. For a fresh starting stream. There's no way. But that's it. That's me and Erin have talked. That's the amount of money that we would need to make every week to justify doing streaming in Twitch and YouTube full time. Is $250. That's $1,000 a month. That's enough to really give us a bonus when it comes to living here. It doesn't pay, it doesn't even pay our mortgage, but it makes it a whole lot easier when Erin's working and she's not covering everything. So yeah, that's probably what we're going to shoot for if we were to start streaming. And when we start streaming again, that'll be the goal, but it won't be a requirement. Right now, it would be a requirement. Like if I wanted to stream more past February, then yeah, I would need to be making money. But right now, my main objective is find another job that I will enjoy doing, something that I don't want to, pull my hair out, right? And Erin's the same thing. She's gonna try and find a job that she's gonna enjoy doing, because we don't have to just have a job for survival's sake. We need a job to pay bills, but we're making enough money as is to pay bills. We want to do something that isn't a dead end job, that will progress us into the things we want to do in life. Erin wants to be a teacher. She thinks that's kind of where her passion is right now, and she's young, so that could change, that could stay the same. Mine is, I want to do woodworking. I want to do Twitch and YouTube as a hobby. I want to do woodworking is like the main business one, but eventually I'd like to design some video games. I would like to do some woodworking. I would like to run a D&D show. And one day I want to open my own game store. Those are like my big passions right now. It's like, I don't need a whole lot. I just need enough to pay the bills. But if I could do something like that, something where I can share creativity and create positivity and make people laugh and have fun, that's my thing. That's for 6 years now. I didn't really have an answer to the question of what do you want to do when you grow up until I was almost grown up, and now I'm pretty positive that that's where I want to go. It could change, but yeah, I want to make stuff with my hands. I want to do a little bit of blacksmithing and a lot of woodworking. So I want to learn how to make mugs with like the iron bands around them. The wooden oaken mugs, and they look like barrels almost. I want to make those. Maybe a little bit of leather working, so I can make like wraps for them, or bookbinding, or just a bunch of little hobby craft stuff. Because one day when I open my own game store, I want like a catalog of items that people can order, and then I can make them stuff. I don't know. I've got so many ideas. And I'm, you grow up And I want you guys to think when you were kids, when you were growing up, you were always told in school, you were always told by people you could do whatever you want. And then at some point in life, you became an adult. And in your head, you know that's not true. You know you have to do what you have to do to make ends meet. You don't get to do what you want to do. You have to go work this bullshit dead end job because you need to make money to pay for rent or to pay for food or and since I was 12 years old or younger, I have worked my entire life. It started, I was telling Erin this story the other day. Um, when I was like 9, I wanted a bicycle. All my friends had bicycles. Everybody in the cul-de-sac had bicycles, and I wanted a bicycle. Um, and we were in Walmart, and I saw one that I really liked. It was a green bike, and it had like cool like cyber decals on it. I said I wanted that bike, and my mom and dad told me something that nowadays would be considered harsh. But they said, if you want that bike, earn it. I said, well, how do I do that? What chores do you want me to do? They said, no, there's no chore. We don't have the money to give you. We don't have money to buy that bike. If you want it, go earn some money and go buy the bike. And so that's what I did. From 9 years old, I went out and I mowed yards. I picked weeds. I helped people around the cul-de-sac, and I earned enough money in one summer to go and buy that bike. My grandpa, who was kind of a jerk, I earned exactly enough money. I went to Walmart like 3 or 4 times, and I saw the price on the bike. It was like $110 or something like that, or $109. And so I earned exactly $110. We went to get the bike. We were standing at checkout, and the total came out to 127. And my grandpa was like, "Oh, well, you didn't think about tax." And I'm like, "I'm 9 years old. That's what the hell am I supposed to know about tax? The price tag looks like it's the price tag." So then my grandpa, he said, "All right, well, I'll cover what you can't afford, but then that bike is half mine, and you won't be allowed to ride it until I tell you you can." Which means whatever chores you need to do, you need to ask me first before you can ride it, because this bike is mine too. And I was so mad. And I told him that I didn't want to buy it, but he bought it anyway. Um, and then, so the next day I went out and I mowed like 4 yards. I came back with $40, and I threw it at him, and I told him, "It's my bike and I will ride it whenever I want, and you can't tell me no." And that was it. From that day forward, every summer I would work. I got my first job when I was 15. No, I got my first job when I was 14. And then 14 or 15, I can't remember. I worked at a gas station. I was the pump boy. I would go out and I'd pump your gas and wash your windshield. And then I would take care of oil pans in the shop. And it was like a gas station auto body shop. And I would ride my bike to and from work, which was 6 miles, or it was either 6 or 8 miles one way or more. I can't remember. It was a long distance. It would take me like an hour and a half every day to bike to and from work, because it was, I'd have to go from one town to the next. And, ever since then, I've worked. And it wasn't until early 2025, when I didn't have a job, when I actually got to do what I wanted to do. And that was because of Erin. She told me, you know what, you need to take some time to pursue the things you want to do in life. And so that's what I did. And unfortunately, we got hit with a storm, our house got damaged, then my landlord decided that was the opportunity to kick us out so she could sell it, which she could have just said that she wanted to sell it. We offered to buy it from her at a way higher value than the house is worth. But she didn't want to do that. Instead, she wanted to play games, and we weren't having it, so we moved. And then we get to now, after 6 months of fighting uphill and waiting on the world to let us progress. Like nothing we could do about anything could get us here any sooner. We went as fast as we could, and now we're here. And now we don't have to answer to anybody. The only thing we have to worry about doing is paying our mortgage. We can pick what bills we want to pay. Before, when you're renting, you got to pay your electricity. Well, fuck. If we're not at the house and it's the middle of summer, we're not playing games, we might as well just turn the fucking electricity off. It's just extra money, right? That's an extreme example, but, we have the choice now. When we were renting, we had to pay all those bills. We don't have to do that now. We can, if we don't want to pay the garbage delivery bill so somebody can come empty our trash can, we can just take our trash 3 blocks down the road for free and be just fine. So, just stuff like that. We have the power now to do whatever we want. And so me and Erin, we want to be smart about it. We want to get comfortable, decompress. Sorry, I'm getting shaky because my hand's been holding up the phone the whole time. But we want to just be normal for a bit. We want to know what that feels like. We just want to make enough money to get by, enough money to save a little bit, and we want to relax, take our kids to school, go to work. We're okay with the shitty jobs right now. We just want a routine, and we don't want to be working overnights. Man, dude, that sucks. We just want a couple morning jobs. That's it. That's all. That's what we want. And then this year is going to be a busy year for me. Like I said, there's a lot of stuff I want to do, which means these first 5 years is going to be mostly learning how to run a business, mostly learning how to do woodworking and build furniture, mostly learning how to run Twitch and YouTube, what I have to do to open my own store. That is my next goal. And it starts with, right now, one step at a time. First step, breathe. Breathe, think, proceed. So yeah, that's the life update. What am I going to do with the channel? What I can. I'll post when I can, when it's available, when I have the time. And me and Erin, we've been talking about making videos. We've been talking about wanting to get into it, especially right now since we're in limbo at the moment. But I don't know if that should be our focus. As much as I would love to make videos again, I think right now we're going to be more focused on getting our shit together. We've got a lot of it together now, but I want to know what we're doing next. I want to know where we're going next. And I think that is our goal right now. So yeah, thank you guys so much for listening to my ramble. I hope you guys enjoyed the story. Yeah, like I said, if we do start streaming, we are going to have a donation goal to justify streaming full time. And if we can start hitting that donation goal consistently, then yeah, we'll stream full time. That's 100% an option. We would love to do that, but it's got to make sense for us. The money isn't a desire, it's a necessity. And there's a minimum that we'd have to make it possible. But, anything beyond that is just, fluff. We're not doing it for the money. We have to have the money to do it, kind of thing. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see how things go. We've still got to file our tax returns here at the end of the month. And That's going to clear out most of our credit card debt and that we accrued over this last 6 months. It might put us in a good position to trade in our vehicles as well, which we really need to do. But I think a good chunk of it's going to go towards fixing up the house and getting the house done. So we'll see. We'll see what happens once we have an office room set up. Expect streams, expect videos. But right now we're kind of just my whole setup and rig is sitting on this fold up table, which, by the way, Nathan, that's your table, so I do use it. My computer and everything. My daughter loves to come push the power button on my computer. It is the worst thing in the world. Anywho, more about that later. Thank you guys all so much for watching. As always, thank you for being there, being supportive. To all of my friends who have been supportive and stayed at my back through all of this shit, thank you. There's a couple of you who took care of us when we needed it most, and if you're watching this, you know who you are. And then there's a couple of you who turned your backs and walked away for very shallow reasons, and for reasons that you didn't have the full context of. And to those people, you guys have shown your colors, and it sucks because I considered you friends, but it is what it is, I guess. I'm not interested. You know, I'd rather people talk to you. And anything short of that is cowardice. So it is what it is. But the rest of you, thank you. You guys have really pushed me and Erin through this shit. And we're excited for the next chapter. We're excited for this next year. We're so happy to be in this house. We're so grateful. Our kids are adorable. They love the house. We love the house. We're ready for the next chapter. I'll see you at Spawn.